everyone. It's almost New Year's Eve. I'm so happy. I am happy to bid 2019 farewell. Farewell. Go away. Thank you for coming, but we're on to something new. Brad is in a new place with his business, and I am just loving this channel and having such a good time with you. And the new year is going to bring great things, but I want to show you sewing related gifts that I have received in 2019. They're not all Christmas gifts, but the bulk of them are. However, there are some that I just have to show you that I got during the year that have made sewing even more enjoyable. That's the beauty of sewing. It can always get more enjoyable. There's an endless stream of patterns we can look at. eBay, 6,000 patterns in one day. I still haven't found my sundress that I made when I was 14. I found a picture of it. I'm standing next to my ancient grandfather who lived to be 96. I think he's 94 in the picture, but it's a terrible shot. My dad used to stand 50 miles away from his subjects, and it's all washed out. But I can see the dress, just like I could remember it. It was a Simplicity Jiffy. And if I was 14, then that means it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 77, somewhere in there. 63 to 73, 10, 74. So here, I think I showed you before that a beautiful, wonderful person sent me silk organza pressing cloths from Paris. Now, you don't have to go to Paris to get silk organza, but treat yourself to some, fold it over, finish the edges. I love the shape that she chose, which is a long rectangle, and you will never, ever look back. These are perfect pressing cloths. They save your fashion fabric. You can see right through them, and they work beautifully. Lori sent me fabric after I had made Candace's formal dress for a wedding that she went to last summer. Lori said, "Hey, I have the same fabric. Would you like it?" How sweet is that? She sent me that same fabric that was no longer available at Fabric Mart. Thank you, Lori, so much. I received from Rebecca. Go check out Rebecca's channel. I'll put the title on the screen. She sent me a Simplicity magazine from 1969. She said, "I think you're going to enjoy this." Understatement of the year. It is absolutely filled with pattern illustrations, just an absolute viewing pleasure. And I don't ever get tired of looking at these. I'll go downstairs and I'll see it under the, I'll see it on the lower coffee table shelf, and I'm like, oh, I could look through that again. Love it. Thank you, Rebecca. I got for Christmas a 2006 New Look counter book. 2006 is sort of dated. Okay, it's dated. However, a lot of these fashions we can bring up to current times. And once again, it's just filled with patterns. A lot of them are on eBay, Etsy, and a very, very few of them are still available. They're still in print. And it's a hardback. It's thin, but it's a hardback. My darling daughter-in-law gave me a hand-stamped dish towel for Christmas. This was made by a local artist in Richmond, Virginia. And those row houses look so much like what you see down there that were built at the turn of the century. And I thought it was so cool that she took a pretty heavy canvas and she hand stamped those houses on it. Speaking of Anna, my darling daughter-in-law, are you ready for this? This is something called Old World Christmas. See the little box there? And these are ornaments that I'm going to keep out all year. This one is a spool of thread. It's all shiny and glittery. And this one, oh, how did she do this? How did she find these? I do not know, but look at that. We have a beautiful little sewing machine. And like I say, I am going to keep these out all year in my sewing room because they're beautiful. And anytime anyone can find something sewing related, I am so impressed and it just thrills me. Candace had this made for me. This is a tablet. And we've got my name up there and all kinds of little sewing seamstress motifs at the bottom. So if I ever send you anything, I'm gonna write you a note on that. That was from Candace. Candace's boyfriend, Mike, gave me eBay gift certificates in the amount of $75. Why am I showing them in a sewing related video? Because I'm going to buy patterns out the wazoo from eBay from Mike. Thank you, Mike. So generous, so sweet. Now, guess what my kids got me? I opened this up and I'm like, wow, that's really interesting. And then I look on the side, there it is. They got me a brand new iPad so that I don't have to do all of my viewing and editing on my phone. I've got a nice big screen now. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And then to complete this, Graham got me a keyboard and a mouse. So I mean, this is really about as close to a laptop as you can get. I am thrilled and I'm really hoping, oh please, dear Lord, I'm hoping that this will improve the quality of my videos. Lots of room for improvement there. So a brand new iPad Pro for me. And I got some fabric today and I got my Threads magazine today. This is a complete mystery to me, except I think it has something to do with the fact that Brad gave me a subscription to Vogue Patterns magazine last Christmas. And I got one issue and they promptly shut the whole thing down. And then months went by and I started receiving threads. So I thought, is that just like a promotional thing? Am I gonna get one issue, maybe 2 issues? I keep getting them. And I mean, it's a fun magazine. So I have that. Oh, I forgot to show you this. Oh my gosh. This beautiful bracelet came from my niece. Hi, Kristen, if you're watching. She had asked me to alter slightly a dress that she was going to be wearing to a military ball with her boyfriend. And I was happy to do it. It was not difficult to do at all. I mean, she's gorgeous. She's about 5'10", and she needed some length. So I was able to just add a tasteful little band around the bottom. It did the trick and she loved it. So she thanked me profusely and sent me a picture of her at the ball. I'll try and find it and put it up here if I can find it. And then she said, well, I really need to thank you properly. And I'm like, no, you don't. The fact that you sent me a picture of you at the ball is thanks enough. Well, you know what she did? She sent me this beautiful bracelet, and I've just got to try and show you the little charms on it. There's a ruler, there's scissors, there is a sewing machine, and then there's a little trinket right here that has writing on it, and it says, she believed she could, so she did. How sweet is that? I love this bracelet. I can add more charms to it, but I think it's just perfect the way it is. Okay, this is what came in the mail. I've been on a tear with Fabric Mart, an absolute tear. Well, they had that great sale over Christmas. Shipping was half priced and everything was marked way down. So I'll just go through this quickly. This is a gorgeous mauve colored rayon challis. You know, I love the challis. I ordered more of that imported from Japan denim that I made my skinny pull-on jeans out of. This fabric went very quickly. It is a gorgeous denim with a perfect amount of stretch, and I think when I ordered my 2.5 yards, because I'm gonna make a jean skirt, I think it was down to about 16 yards of fabric left. So it is, gone. This is a beautiful linen cotton blend, and it is a border print, black and white, flowers and stripes. Adorable, adorable. Maybe a summer shirtwaist dress with kind of a full skirt. This is some Millie shirting in a sky blue. It's very crisp, however, it's very soft, and it's got my favorite thing, 8% spandex. 8% is a lot for a stretch woven, and this just feels heavenly. So, one Millie shirt coming up. This is a patriotic Ponte knit. And we've got red, white, and blue stripes. You know Ponte, it's beautiful, it's substantial, you can't see through it. I can make the stripes go horizontally or vertically. That is always your choice with stripes, okay? The selvage on this fabric is, these are vertical stripes, according to the selvage. But again, you're in charge, you get to decide. Now, did you know that Dress Barn closed? Oh, I think it's sad when a chain shuts down. I didn't shop at Dress Barn, but at the last minute, at the 11th hour, it was literally 4 o'clock in the afternoon on December 26th when I read that they were selling off everything in the store. All the hardware, all the mannequins, all the tables, not to mention the clothes. So Colin said, I want a clothing rack. All right, let's go. So we got in the car and we drove over to Kingstown here in Northern Virginia. Store was empty. The woman in there was vacuuming. There was some music blasting. And they did have some clothing racks, which were really nice, very, very sturdy. I mean, this is store grade equipment. So Colin and I each bought, well, he bought for me a clothing rack, and they were $10 each. Then there were a bunch of mannequins back against a wall. They were only torsos. There was one full body, and she was about a size 0. So I immediately passed her over. And I was looking at the torsos, and I thought, I don't know. I circled around, nothing to see in the store, but I circled. And I came back, and I'm like, well, I could at least measure this one. So I whipped out my handy dandy portable measuring tape. I measured her around, and she was my exact measurement. So I had to get her. I've never had a dress form, and I'm gonna show her to you. Colin bought her for me, so he bought me the clothing rack and the dress form. And she was $12 and the clothing rack was $10. And then to close out this video, I'm going to show you what Brad gave me for Christmas. It is sewing related, and it's pretty spectacular. Now, before I go, I gotta tell you, there are some very exciting things coming up in 2020 on Viv Mom Sews. First of all, come back Wednesday. Joy and I are going to announce our next challenge, sewing challenge. We will announce Wednesday. We are so excited about it. We're going to have 3 prizes for the winners, and it will be a random pick for winners, and we can't wait to tell you all about it. In 2020, I plan to do a lot of construction videos. I have a lot of requests for those. I'm gonna grow out these fingernails if it kills me, so that I don't have to be so ashamed of my hands. And then I get ashamed of my hands and I don't make the videos. So it is a vicious cycle of self-sabotage. Isn't that great? But you know what? We're onward and upward for 2020, and we're gonna make healthy changes. I'm also gonna try and do a sugar reset, but so boring. We won't talk about that. But here's the other thing. I'm gonna show you my closet. A lot of people have asked me about my closet, where I store the clothes that I have sewn, and my closet has so much room in it right now. Empty hangers are banging into one another, and I'm gonna show you how I make that happen. And boy, do I need to sew some tops. I don't have very many. When I really got back into sewing seriously and thought, okay, I'm really gonna sink a lot of time and expense into this, I purged my ready-to-wear clothes. I mean, they were gone, and I probably gave away 90%. And so it was sort of a rash thing to do, but I thought, well, I want to sew, so I'm going to just give myself the impetus to sew. I kept some jeans, I kept my foundational garments, I kept my swimsuits, and just about everything else went. So I made a couple winter tunics last year, but I am hurting for certain. And I also need to make another coat. Did I show you my paprika colored fleece? I have so much new fabric, it's gonna boggle your goggles, okay? But I'm gonna save those for another video. So we're gonna look into my closet. We're gonna do some construction videos. We're gonna talk about sewing discouragement and getting past thoughtless comments that people might say to you about something you've made, and about sewing what you love versus sewing what you think you should sew. And you know, it's all about finding your style and clothing that makes you feel great. So that's coming up in 2020. I can't wait. There's gonna be a ton of sewing going on. I did meet my goal of breaking my record of sewing 96 garments in 2018. For 2019, I was well over 100 garments, and let's just keep going. Come on. I'll try and break that record this year. But there's also time for slower sewing and a little more detail. I think that I could stand to devote some time to that. So before I leave you, I'm gonna show you my new clothing rack, my torso body double, which sort of freaks me out. You know, it's that feeling when you see a torso and you go, wow, that's a rather big galoot right there. And then you realize it's you, it's your size. And then I'm gonna show you Brad's gift. Hang on, come with me. You know what? I forgot to tell you that we're gonna paint our living room, and I'm doing a complete sewing studio overhaul. Now, here's my rack. Brad had to put some tissue paper on the ends of it because he kept almost walking into it. But it's a big sturdy rack. It goes all the way down, and this part you cannot tip it over no matter what. And I can adjust it in here, make it shorter, taller. I plan to hang a lot of things on my new clothing rack from Dress Barn. Here is my torso. Now she is on this nice base that I can lower. See that knob there? I can turn that and make it taller or shorter. Now she's got some shoulders included, which is good. And she's a little banged up right there, but this is, I don't know what this material is. It's very, very substantial. Let me put a shirt on her, hang on. Okay, so other than thinking that I could stand to reduce a bit, here is how she looks with a garment on her. I keep calling it a her, I mean, it's just a big hunk of plastic, but you know, she's got my posture, and the bust measurement is identical, and that's what I really try to fit first when I sew. So even though it is just a torso, I think it's going to help me a lot, and it's fun to see the clothes on it. So that was $12 and a gift from Colin. Brad saw an episode of Ask This Old House. He loves to watch that on Saturday mornings. And a guy was teaching everyone how to make light up signs. Great big letters that you build out of wood, and then you wrap aluminum flashing around them, and you drill holes in the letters, and you put in lots and lots of little light bulbs, kind of like you'd find at a makeup table, the little round light bulbs. And then he also put wood pieces behind it to stabilize it. And he hooked it up to remote control, and you guys, look what he did. Look what he did. So there is my gift from Brad. He had to cut out these letters in wood. He had to wire them. He had to put all of the light bulbs in them. And then he wrapped this little remote and gave that to me. The big sign was under wraps, and I thought, okay, a remote for the Christmas tree, that's nice. And he said, go ahead and hit it. And so I did, and that's what happened. This thing could light up the sky. It is so bright. And when I light it up on camera, you can't really see all the light bulbs, but see them there? And I am so bowled over with my new sign from Brad that he made from scratch. It's just the best. So I had to show you guys that and all the wonderful sewing related things I've received in 2019. I am wishing you the happiest new year, and I'll be back on Wednesday to tell you all about the challenge with joy this year. Happy 2020, everyone. Bye.